All right, with me now, Danny Myrick. He writes the country music hits, including Aldean's She's Country. Danny's with me now from Nashville. Good to see you.
You too. Thank you for having me.
So what happened a week ago has certainly hit this country very hard, and it's also hit the country music community very hard. What are you hearing in the country music community about what transpired, what people are saying, and how they're expressing themselves?
Well, we are certainly, like the rest of the country, in shock. I personally have a lot of friends in Vegas. I've got a couple of buddies who host a show at Mandalay Bay every Friday night, which we actually played this past Friday night. We were the first show since the shooting to happen. And because it so closely relates to us, we've got a lot of friends involved in it. Had a lot of friends at the festival playing, including Jason Aldean and his band. You know, we're still in shock trying to figure out how it happened, and you know, I think at this point the first step is a matter of just sending up prayers and thoughts to those families, to the people involved, coming together as a community, and then the next step is to begin to ask the questions of how this could happen and how we can move on to hopefully prevent it happening again.
And what do you think needs to happen, particularly in the healing process? We've heard so many say now is not the time, you know, to talk beyond offering comfort to the victims. What do you believe is a component of healing?
Well, I disagree with that. I think when these things happen, it's the perfect time to discuss it. I think what it's not the perfect time for is for both sides of an issue like the gun control issue to immediately go to your corners and go back to your agendas. I don't think that helps anything. I think having real conversation about steps that we could take. I'm really disturbed when I read, for example, that the shooter got 33 of those 47 guns within a year. And I'm wondering, how does that not raise red flags? I understand that, you know, he clearly did it within the law in terms of purchasing the guns. How can we not have some sort of a standard where someone is stockpiling that can't raise a red flag? Maybe that's a starting point. But you know, it doesn't help, like we do in so many issues, to be so polarized and you know, try to go to our agenda in the middle of these emotions. I think we have steps, you know, have conversations to see what first steps we can take and get on those, and hopefully a domino effect happens.
So Danny, after the shooting, you took to Instagram and you wrote some of your thoughts on guns, saying, quote, "We must figure out a way to lay the weapon of words down as we figure out how to evolve as humanity. We will not survive if we don't." And so what do you envision when you talk about evolving as humanity?
Well, all I can speak to is the environment that I grew up in. And I grew up in a gun culture in South Mississippi, and I don't say that as a negative term. It's a very family environment. My first hunting experience was with my grandfather. I got a shotgun for Christmas, my brother and I, when I was 10 years old. And so those are family activities with law-abiding citizens who learn gun safety. But the thought to me now is, you know, we can't automatically wrap ourselves in our freedoms that other people can take advantage of. And I know, especially in Nashville, in the country music world, the NRA is really, really big, understandably. And so we hold that Second Amendment right really almost sacred. And I think now's the time, though, in a social media, internet age, that maybe we need to take some of the things we've taken for granted and go, maybe the society we're in now is not ideal for the same level of freedoms in those circumstances that it was maybe when the amendment was written, you know?
All right, music writer Danny Myrick, thanks so much for sharing your words.
My pleasure. Thanks for having me. I appreciate it.
All right, we've got so much more straight ahead in the newsroom right after this.